Good morning, good afternoon. This is Alex Van Pelt with Wallboard, and thank you for coming out to the webinar here. We're going to give just a few more minutes for people to kind of get into and get situated in this webinar. So we'll start here in the next few minutes. All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and get started here. As I mentioned previously, my name is Alex Van Pelt. I am the platform manager here at Wallboard, and thank you for joining in today to go through this webinar while we detail out the Wallboard version 1.9 interface. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my display here. Should be popping up here in the next second. A couple of quick notes here before we actually get into the actual presentation is one, this webinar is actually being recorded and will be available and sent out to all those who registered. Of course, if you'd like to get access to it, please reach out to our team and we can definitely send you a link to it. On the other side of that, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out through the GoToMeetings chat. There should be available capability there to ask questions, and we can go through those at the end. So let's go ahead and get started and looking at some of the version 1.9 updates that we'll be releasing in the next few weeks. But before we do, a few notes about Wallboard. So first off, founded in 2012. If you don't know that already about us, there's probably a good number of new faces here that are in attendance. Our business operations are headquartered in Dallas, Texas. We have about 25 plus in our development team working in Budapest, Hungary. In addition to those two factors, we have about 40 plus resellers or as well as distribution partners operating in about 20 plus countries through North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. So you have quite a few ways to reach us and reach our software. Kind of go over a little bit about what Wallboard has to offer in regards to our proposition here is really kind of focused on four key characteristics. The first one being easy to use. I think that's something that we really shine in here is that we provide a easy to use interface that users have the ability to create really engaging experiences. And that interface is both very friendly to your digital signage network admins and managers, as well as to content creative teams that are not necessarily there in the technical aspect, but are there in the creative aspect. Now, leading to our second point is talking more about that content creation. Because our platform does offer a full suite of content creation capabilities that are definitely similar to PowerPoint and the Photoshop environments. So those content creative teams, those marketing teams have a very easy transition into working into our platform, creating those experiences and deploy them out to the displays that they have deployed. Now we can utilize data-driven signage within our platform very easily because we offer the ability to connect to these live data sources from simple Google Sheets to more complex enterprise database connections to allow that real-time data to come through those displays. Now, talking a little bit more about that data-driven is that besides live data connections, we have the ability to connect to sensors and other things to really make the experience at the digital sign a lot more impactful. And then finally, versatility. Our platform does allow for our customers to grab the latest and greatest regarding the newest technologies that come onto the market without having to overpay. Because whenever we go through and we develop our platform and add new features as well as enhancements, that is at no additional cost to our end customers. Because a part of the subscription, they get these latest and greatest updates. For example, our version 1.9 server. So we'll go over a few of these key feature enhancements here. So we're going to be talking about content management teams within the advanced permissions, our new media RSS widget, a stock photo library integration, improved image editing and crop and resize, and then finally loop and schedule folders. So let's go ahead and dive into the first one, being the advanced permissions. So we added a new feature that I am very personally excited about to our user access, which is called advanced permissions. So now admins and owners can actually create what we like to call our teams. And here you have the ability to designate certain screens, loops, content, schedules, data sources, messages, everything to particular teams that you assign users to. This has definitely been something requested for quite some time, and we're happy to deliver this in our version 1.9 server update. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have available. So here I am. I'm actually inside of our Wallboard platform that some of you know and love. And I'm going to actually navigate to the settings. From here, I'll pull out our settings menu, and I'm going to go into our users. Now everything's going to be really remain the same in this instance because we're going to go ahead and just create a brand new user that we're used to. So I'm going to go ahead and name our person Jim here. We'll give Jim an email. Looks like I already have that email populated. We'll go ahead and make him an approver, and we're going to give him a password here to use. And I can either select a team from here, or I can just go ahead and leave this blank. So I'll go ahead and click save. And we have that new user. The next step that I'll do is navigate to our teams, which is going to be located right below our users. From here, this is where we're going to be able to manage, create, and really just take control of these individual teams and their ability to get all the information that they need to be getting, and of course, create as many as you need. So in this instance, either I can click add new to add a new slot and then create a new team, or I can actually go into an existing team and I can really choose what they control, whether it's talking about screens that I go ahead and check or uncheck, if we're talking about loops, if we're talking about content. And in this instance, if I have content groups, I can actually go ahead and select these and grab actual individual contents from those particular groups if I need to. And you can see that these are going to be functions through all of aspects of the Wallboard editor, schedules, even files that we can manage. But the next step that we'll do here is I'm going to click manage users. And this is where I can go ahead and select Jim. And Jim's going to go ahead and be assigned to that Dallas team once I click save. So now if I go ahead and just pop up another window here, and we can log in as Jim in this portal, we're only going to see the things that we have assigned to Jim. So as you see, we'll go ahead and actually enter as a new user. Of course, we're going to go ahead and be brought in, and I'm going to see the screens. Well, actually, here we go. We're going to see our EULA. And now we're going to actually see the dedicated screens, the dedicated loops, the particular content groups, as well as the contents within those groups that as the Jim user is going to potentially see. So I can go ahead and click on corporate content and be able to see the information inside of that. Now, if I come back to our original owner here, I can go ahead and make changes directly here, and I can select more screens for him to manage, or really for that team to manage. And once I click save, come over here and go ahead and refresh our portal, we should be able to see those additional displays, those additional screens inside of this portal so that he can manage these. So you can see how these changes occur right away. All right, I'll go ahead and click back home and we'll go back to our presentation. Up next is our media RSS widget. This is new, and this one is actually pretty exciting because what we're doing here is that we're adding this new widget that really allows users to grab a hold of RSS data in a different way, and really be able to bring it into a customized fashion through another little quick website. Now, this has the ability to bring in news feeds, but also social media feeds like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And then also, this is going to work pretty similarly to our weather widget that really gives you the ability to create, how you want to. You really kind of set it up in the way that you can build out the fields that you want to build out. So I'm going to hop back into our portal again, and we're going to scroll down to a content and bring that in. So I've got our Wallboard business template here, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it. And what this is going to go ahead and do is allow me, which I'm double clicking here, to either assign it to a team if I'd like to, or if I leave it blank, it's just going to be for owners access only. And I'm going to click into this to get into our actual content editor. From here, I'm going to actually hide some information on the left-hand side where we're going to bring in that RSS widget. So I'm going to bring in a shape, and I'm going to change this shape to be a box. We'll remove the actual line width, and I'm going to match the color here so that I don't necessarily have to figure out the hex codes, and I'll bring that over on top of this, and we'll just hide it. Now I'm going to bring in our RSS app, and I'm going to, of course, size it how I want to size it. And now the next step there is I need to figure out where I'm bringing in that feed, because I need to put the URL right here. So this is where we're going to show off where we're pulling this information, which is rss.app. Uh, this website, this application is fantastic because it allows you to bring in multiple feeds. And what it's doing with those multiple feeds is turning it into a way that we can digest that in a better fashion. So all titles are the same, all descriptions are being labeled the same, and we have this ability then to have what they like to call a bundle of feeds, so I can have a mixed information between my social medias as well as news if I'd like to. So I'm going to go into my feeds here, and I can see that I have the ability to create a new feed where you can select really a number of areas, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, eBay, Tumblr, Imgur. There's a ton of things that you can pull here. Now we've already created a few. And once I create these, I can now bundle them up, which I already have one called Wallboard. And in this one, we're actually bringing in Twitter and our Wallboard blogs, all run by our fantastic marketing team. And so with this, I'm going to copy this URL, go into our editor, and I can paste this directly here. And from there, I have a bunch of settings that I can edit, whether I want to change the duration of how long a news story is potentially shown, the direction as to how it's being transitioned, whether the orientation needs to be forced in landscape, portrait, or just set to auto, and how I choose my resolution for it. I can change the date format that it's being shown. I can mute video audio if I need to. I can even show particular things like creator, media, description, as well as other filter items so that I can skip events or limit the total number of events that it cycles through. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and click save, and we're going to preview what we have so far. So in this instance, we're going to have the same Wallboard video, and we can actually see now that information is going to be pulling in via that RSS, and that information is going to be cached to the media player. And this is just going to cycle through our Twitter and then also the Wallboard blogs and be able to show information based along that, whether it's images or just text or potentially videos. And that's just going to cycle through and do its thing, which is fantastic. Oh, there I am. Haha. So I'm going to go ahead and click X here because we're going to do something a little bit different. So now what I want to show off is a little bit of a different way of bringing in this media. So I'm going to go ahead and select my video, and I'll go ahead and hide it. I'm going to bring this RSS widget over here, and I'm going to extend it out. Now I'll go ahead and remove this shape so we have our side content back in our content here. And I'm going to go ahead and select this and change from the type to be slide to collage. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, and I can actually make changes to how we're going to display this collage information. So I can say, you know what, let's go ahead and make it 3 columns by 3 rows. I can add in some padding. We'll actually make that 2. I can add rounding to these as well as a border width if I like. Now the other thing I'll do here is we're going to change the news source. So I'm going to go back to my feeds, I'm going to find one. We'll just use this CNN World News here because there's a bunch of information with videos and other images. So I'll copy that feed, and I'm going to go ahead and select this and paste in our new feed. And now once I click save and I preview this, we're going to be able to see a new way of displaying that information as you're seeing right now. So we're filling in that 3-column by 3-row field with these news sources, and they're randomly changing based along the the duration that I have set. And so this is just another way of displaying that information. Again, really any feed that rss.app is going to allow you to bring in, you can go ahead and create a bundle to have that information be presented. Now, I'll quickly note here in regards to this, we're implementing new changes to this RSS widget to bring in more specific items like potential internal data sources and things of that nature. So definitely expect more to come with that widget because it's definitely really cool. All right, we'll go to our next one, which is stock photo library integration. So what we're offering now in our file manager is a direct connection and integration to free stock photo libraries like Pexel and Pixabay. So what our users will be able to see here is that instead of uploading their own images that they want to potentially utilize, they can actually search through these free stock photos from these large public libraries and directly bring them into the Wallboard file manager and really just have this access and availability. So to kind of show this off quickly, we can actually go into the platform, click File Manager up top here. And in this instance, I can go ahead and click this Open Online Images selector icon to where we're automatically bringing in that information where I can either search for pictures or I could potentially load more and cycle through all these constantly updated items. Now to expand on that, we have improved our image editing. So besides having this need to utilize third-party software to crop and resize images, we're having this ability brought into Wallboard to where you have the ability to edit existing images that you bring in manually, or you can utilize it to edit and crop those images that we're bringing in from Pexel or Pixabay. So this is definitely going to help, provide some valuable time saving whenever it comes down to creating this information or this content. So to kind of show this off here, I have an example. I've got our soda content right here that I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. Now, again, I have the ability to select this to team or not. I'll go ahead and leave it blank so it just allows me as an owner to see it. And I'm going to click into it. Now, inside of this content, we have a couple things here. We have, of course, these jumping soda cans and then some text that says choose your beverage. Well, I want to spice up that top item. So what I can do is I'll bring in an image, and underneath the source of this, let's go ahead and find an image from our selector tool. So I can go in and I can search soda and hit enter, and I can look through these items to find something that might work for exactly what I'm trying to bring in. So I can scroll through, be able to see what's happening here, have a lot of options and availability. Of course, there's the ability to offer in more filtering if you want more specific items. I can find the image that I want, and once I double click this, this will bring us into our ability to crop and resize this image. So right off the bat, I have the ability to just automatically do a custom crop and be able to bring this in. We also have some neat quick cropping tools like 16:9, 4:3, 1:1, 2:3. I can also rotate the image behind it. So this will allow me to, of course, grab a certain area if I like it to be just that. I can flip along the axes to make it unique. And then also I can add the ability to bring in mask. So if I want to utilize a different way of cropping, I can go ahead and do just that with one of these mini masks so that we can bring in a specific item. So if I choose custom here, of course I can shrink it up and grab a certain area of it. Now in this example, we're going to go ahead and just do no mask. I'm going to grab a corner of this, or really not really a corner, but a section. Now, once I click apply and save, This is going to save, well, first it's going to ask me if I want to apply this to any teams as an owner. And it's going to bring this file into our file manager so that I have the ability to access this wherever I need to moving forward. I don't have to go and find this particular image anymore and try to crop the exact area that I want to crop again. So click choose file, and we're going to stretch this out to be our background here. And I'm going to move that behind our shape. So we got some neat items here, and I'll move that up so it hides behind it perfectly. Now, for using that crop and resize tool on an image that is already existing in our portal or image that I bring in, I can easily do that. So I'm going to copy this soda can here and paste it to get the exact copy of it. And I'll go ahead and double click it, and I can go into our editor. Now, you can see that we have this image with these 8 soda cans. Well, I can click the file properties here, and I can crop and resize. This will bring up that image that I've uploaded into our sizing tool, that I can go ahead and grab a custom crop of this delicious raspberry drink, and I can go ahead and click apply and save. And this information is going to go ahead and cut out that image and be brought in into our file manager that I have the ability to access from now on. So here we go. I'll click choose file, and now that has changed. And of course, with different cropping, I need to resize. And here we go. And I'll go ahead and click save, and we can preview this and see those changes happen right away. We can see the image that I went ahead and grabbed from our image selector and added some changes to, and then also the images that I've went ahead and cut and cropped right there. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and click back home, and we'll go to our next slide, which is a little bit more of a quality of life improvement in our platform. So the ability to create new loop and schedule folders. So just like how we've been doing it with screens and content, we've extended this capability to our loops and schedules. This is fantastic because it definitely goes hand in hand with our new Teams ability, so that we can actually assign loop groups or schedule groups to particular teams and users that need access to them. So it just really kind of gives more control over the cleanliness of the portal and makes it easier. So I'm going to quickly show this, but I think you might envision this if you already utilize our platform. So as we see already, we have these screen groups as well as these content groups. On the loop groups, I just click plus loop group here, and I can go ahead and give it a name, and I can choose a team as an owner if this needs to be assigned to it. So I'll go ahead and click save, and we'll now be placed into that loop group and to where I can go ahead and click on this root access here to be able to see. The same is said for our schedules. So I click the plus icon, go to schedule group, and I'll go ahead and give this just a name here, and I'll click save. And this is going to place me in that schedule group. I'll need to click on this to go back to the root. And there it is, available for us to potentially access. So it just really allows this, again, ability to make everything better. Again, quality of life being the key factor here. And so it just provides more in detail at that point. All right. Now, to go more into what else is available in 1.9, we have a knowledge-based article that is going to detail out all of the potential bug fixes, enhancements, and other details surrounding our actual update. So please feel free to check this out. There's some details here that will go into it. And we'll also be updating this with any of the server versions that come past that 1.9. So any enhancements or bug fixes, as well as any additional new features down the road that will be underneath the 1.9 server update. So this will be all listed here and available for you. All right. So with that, I just want to say thank you for tuning in this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you are. So I appreciate you coming in and be able to look at what we're doing here at Wallboard and be able to see what we're providing to our end customers. So at this point, what I'd like to go ahead and open this up to you is if there are any questions that that need to be answered in regards to this particular server update. So let me pull this up real quick. Hold on. Looks like we had a few questions that come through. So is rss.app your product? No, RSS app is a third-party site that we utilize to format the feeds into our new RSS widget. This really allows for bundling in different ways and ensures that they, again, are all formatted in the same way. So that anything that comes in as the title or description or body or date, that gets formatted in one central go. And so we'll be working with that application, that third-party site, to make sure it's smooth moving forward. Can you also add a paid stock account like Stuttershock or Getty? Currently, right now, all paid sites are not supported for that image search, but you can still download those and bring them into our platform, just like how you'd bring in any other image, with the ability to crop and resize that after the fact. Any copyright concerns about displaying CNN news publicly? At this point, no, because that news is actually available through Twitter and their additional feeds. They're publicly displaying that RSS feed so we can show that information. Any updates on platform-wide encryption? So at that point, there are some specific items that are going into place for that. So those are going to be implemented here in the near future. I believe that some of that is detailed inside of our 1.9 update knowledge base. Can we also show a LinkedIn feed? So as far as LinkedIn feed, if that is available through the RSS app, you can be able to bring that in. I know LinkedIn is pretty particular as to posts and items of that nature that get brought in. So if that is something that's supported through rss.app, then it's supported through our ability to bring it in through the RSS widget. So as far as we need to pay for the rss.app, I believe that there are some ability to pay for that if you are running multiple feeds and bundles in that instance. I want to say that they allow for a certain number to be free and used, as well as a certain amount of information to be pooled at that point. So of course you can bring in your own RSS into it. rss.app just really allows you to bundle all that information. So did we improve the Android app? Is it more reliant at that point? We are making strides with all of our applications with the 1.9 server update. So all applications are getting, of course, work and fixes, enhancements that are being brought into that. And so with the 1.9 server update, you'll actually see new application versions to match that 1.9 update. And that will be all rolled out at the same time. So at this moment, what we're going to be doing for the Media RSS plugin in regards to available for all, or does this need to be activated extra? At this time, it's going to be a situation that we're going to be distributing out to some of our partners to work with and kind of redefine how we want it to all function properly. And then we can take the next steps at that point. So the Android APK is available in your client portal. Whenever you go to if you go to settings and the download, you can find Android and be able to download that APK right there. If you're looking for the latest version of it, please be sure to reach out to your sales representative or your technical representative at Wallboard, and they'll be able to provide that. When can we expect to upgrade to 1.9? Actually, here in the near future. So we'll be reaching out to all of our partners that are hosting their servers and begin a rollout path to provide that. Of course, if you'd like access to test out the platform, please feel free to reach out. We can create portals for you to hop in and be able to look around. Sorry if I missed that one there. All right. Will this recording of the webinar be sent to everybody? That is correct. It will. So if you've registered, you'll get a recording, and that information will be distributed here, I believe, either today or tomorrow. So as far as BrightSign scripts go, if that's getting an update as well, at that point, again, our BrightSign application will be getting an update. Again, quality of life enhancements and fixes. All media player updates, or whenever it comes down to it, are not necessarily mandatory depending on bug fixes. If something is fixed in a particular version, we'll require that before moving forward with any support. As far as custom CSS inside of the new RSS widget, I do not believe so at this time, but we can definitely determine that and make sure that I'm providing you the right answer. Does 1.9 play better with the HP secure access? So at that point, I would need to work with our HP team just to make sure if that is correct or not. So that's something that we can definitely reach back out to you to determine if that is available or not. All right. Well, I think at that point, we might have answered all questions. And of course, if I miss any questions or if you have questions later on, please feel free to reach out at sales@wallboard.info. Of course, if you have a direct contact with a Wallboard representative, you can, of course, reach out directly to them. But with that, I want to say thank you again for joining up with this webinar, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying the Wallboard platform. And if you're not already in tune with the Wallboard platform, be sure to reach out and we can definitely set up a demo for you. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Goodbye.